Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Today we're going to take a look at Pajamas Beerus, or Sleepy Beerus, whatever we're going to call him. So he got his EZA. I mean, I would just quickly mention that I don't think they made him good enough. I don't want to say he has zero value, or he's just complete fodder with no possible way to help, because I don't think that is true. But they didn't make him good enough. Just so obviously. Now, in terms of how to build him, I just see no other path towards this character whatsoever besides dodge. I mean, Beerus does have special equips that he can get, but I feel like we should talk about this again. I've talked about this in multiple videos. I'll put it right here as well. So they did announce new stages would be added to the Beerus and Son Goku event, which includes special equips for Beerus. First Form Frieza, his stages to his event came out. He got equips, but I do not have the answers for you. For some reason, the stages were postponed. They put the stages in the data download. Then a database update happened where they delayed the stages, and they're not out. So Beerus does technically have special equips, but you can't get them. So I mean, they don't exist. So it's not a thing. So dodge is of course it. This character, I mean, the bastard literally can't attack until turn 5 anyway, right? And I mean, I did use him in my Super Bosses mission. To be fair to Sleepy Beerus, Super Bosses is one of the worst god-awful teams ever thought up by mankind. So, I mean, that certainly would hurt. Any character being used on the Super Boss team is going to look worse than they are because they're on the terrible Super Bosses team, right? So, certainly we do need to mention that. Like, that is definitely a fact. But, I mean, I've seen this guy obliterated, killed by normals before turn 5 happened. Killed by normals on turn 4. And he can attack. So it's kind of, I mean, you know, is he good? No way. But, like, is he usable? I mean, I guess. I do like that he supports and has Rainbow Orb changing at the start, but I do think they should have done quite a bit more for this guy. This guy is a great concept for a character, and I mean, Super Bosses so badly needs the help, right? But they didn't go as far with this guy as they should have. These free-to-play LRs during the anniversary, I'm sorry, I just see no reason that they can't be like on par with almost like the anniversary LRs. Why not? If Sleepy Beerus was like, you know, like a little bit below the Gammas or something like that, like, oh shit, dude, Sleepy Beerus is this good? No reason for me to summon on Beast Gohan or Broly or Gogeta. Like, that's not happening. Like, they could have made this Beerus, like, if anything, imagine Beerus is just like a god, right? Like, he has 90% damage reduction until he transforms. He has a Scouter. He gives 2-turn support. He's Rainbow Orb changing. Like, he's just ridiculous. What if Beerus Rainbow Orb changed every single turn, even when he's not on rotation? How busted would he be, right? If anything, that would make people want to summon for Broly more, because he would have another god on his team. I don't see why free-to-play characters need to be made to be shitty, or mid, or bad, or terrible, or awful, or god-awful. Who knows? Let's jump in. I do want to kind of see him kind of like, you know, with as high as stats as we could see. So we'll run him on a 200% leader. I guess I should swap over and show this as well. In terms of 200% leader skill, it's not very good. Another reason I do wish they had maybe changed Broly's leader skill to be a bit different. I wish most Super Bosses characters would have landed on his leader skill. So maybe we'll run him on Kid Gohan's team, maybe Beerus' team. I'm not sure. But we'll see what Sleepy Beerus has to offer for us. Alright guys, we'll explain more in a second, but this is really, really good. Getting Sleepy Beerus in slot 7 is probably the best possible draw we could get. I mean, you know, pretend we're fighting Supreme Battle Spectacle, Beast Gohan or something like that. We would, like, that would be best, because Beerus, the first turn we'll get him will be turn 3, and then turn 5, he's ready to transform. So that's very good for us. Alrighty, I love he like dude. It's so stupid because he is a fun this is a fun character, but I think that they fumbled quite a bit. Let's just go over what he does kind of in base so we can kind of, I guess, set the scene here. Remember, his existence is good. That's another reason I do really wish he was a lot better. Because let's say we get like super hype Hakai Beerus or some shit like that. This Beerus would be able to link with him, right? Because he is a new named Beerus. By the way, I do see people continue to bring up the Fusion Zamasu thing. Pajamas Beerus is certainly a direct result of that, right? So, I do think we would be seeing more things in the line of Pajamas Beerus after some of the Fusion Zamasu stuff, right? Let's just say it like that. Now, Pajamas Beerus, here's what its link set is. Godly Power, Prodigies, Connoisseur, which is one of my favorite links in the game, The Innocence, Shocking Speed, Shouting Limit, and Legendary Power. I just want to highlight Connoisseur real fast because, again, I do. This is Daddy's type of link right here. 7% HP regen and 7% defense. Ooh, that is fire right there. Yeah, we need more of that. But, I mean, it's just Beerus and Whis and Champa cards, really. I don't know why, I'm not saying they should give it to Goku, but I don't know why, Goku couldn't, Goku could certainly, I'd love to know what this is called in Japanese, actually, right? Maybe the global translation for this just sucks ass. I guess that's possible. All right, so keep in mind that Pajamas Beerus cannot attack until we actually transform with him. His active skill is Transformation Condition. It's just turn 5, and thank God they did not shaft Beerus. It's just turn 5. So if he starts in slot 7, next turn we will be able to swap into. It's just he's just awake, even though they don't there's not different art or anything like that, right? I do want to go over his passive so we can kind of set the stage before moving on. So he can attack. He gets 200% defense at the start of turn, which, that's fine, but I think that maybe should be 500%. Right? Something like that. That sounds good. He gets 50% damage reduction, which is good on a character that does, 20 million damage, and then 18 million damage, and then 19 million damage, and then he builds up more damage. 50% damage reduction, he can't attack. He literally does no damage. I would prefer, you can't rely on this guy defensively. Turn 1, against a boss that supers for probably 1.7 million, because it's a boss that supers for 1.5 million, and they get 30% attack, I think. Maybe I should just double check, but that's what the numbers are. And Beerus took 500k from them, and I think he had 5 orbs, because he does get defense per orb. We're going through his passive, we'll get to it. That's just what is his purpose? If he gets hit, he takes a shit ton of damage. He can attack. I do like that he gives support. That is obviously, support is good. He does Rainbow Orb Change as well, which is good. And I've found that Rainbow Orb Changing is supremely powerful, and it's the type of thing that really can linger across multiple turns. One good Rainbow Orb Change can linger across multiple turns and create orbs for many different characters. So that's certainly the case. And yeah, it's Blue Goku and Vegeta I'm thinking of. You could check out my Super Bosses versus Gogeta video, if you want clarity on that, but they super for 1.5 and then they get 30% attacks. Yeah, it's 1.7 million or something like that they do, and Beerus got crunched by them, and I believe that was his first turn. Now Beerus gets a 50% damage reduction, then with every turn that passes he loses 10% damage reduction. I don't understand why. He can't attack. I don't know why we do this. He gives allies 40% attack during his turn, which is really good. But we can't give defense and key as well. Then he gives an additional 10% attack, up to 30% at the start of each turn that passes. So, he could give a lot of attack support, which is fine. But again, I don't see why he can't give key and defensive support. He does Rainbow Orb Change, which is very good. If we're thinking of him in a Super Boss's role, he could create orbs for Broly, Chula, and Lemo, which is a big deal. Because obviously, I mean, they're, you know, when they get 7 orbs, they have the most powerful mechanic in the game, which is guaranteed dodge, right? Nothing the boss can do unless you're in a fight that cancels dodge. And then finally, Beerus gets 50% defense per key sphere obtained. So I did blabber, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but, I mean, guess what? I mean, that's what we're here for. All right, so he's going to go from 231k defense to what? 441 as we get cord issues. Lovely, lovely. All right, so we're up to 400k defense with 50% damage reduction. I mean, I don't want to say that that's like the worst ever, but obviously bosses, I mean, continue to be upgraded and shit like that. And I would really rather being way better defensively if we can't attack, right? Like I could even right now, I could stomach the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta unit because that Vegeta often is very defensive. I mean, he can take damage, but it's tough with guard plus damage reduction. He's very, very defensive, right? So I love that. But this Beerus, I mean, he's not attacking. He doesn't feel safe. I mean, I'll certainly take, like, the support and shit like that he's given us, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. We're going to get a little bit... Our stats are going to be a little bit higher once Gohan and Piccolo do this right here. We're going to get the super class buff, which, remember, Sleepy Beerus, he is a super classes unit, right? All right, this is an 800k super attack right here. 23k, yeah, you can't be taking damage right there, I guess. I don't know. Bro, I don't know. Yeah, so, I mean, that's basically Beerus in base. We've gone over it. If I was to get my hands on this bastard, he'd have... Oh, one other point I wanted to make is, remember, maybe you could see some characters tank better and stuff like that. But remember, almost every character these days... Oh, boy. Shitty character. Even in this stage, running them in slot 3 is a risk. Almost every single character these days gets defense when they attack. But remember, Sleepy Beerus, Pajamas Beerus, has nothing like that. He can't attack. So, it's, you know, not really too great. Alright, so here we are. It is turn 5, which means we can go ahead and do Sleepy Beerus, Pajamas Beerus's God of Awakening. So when we do this, this is going to force all attacks at Beerus. I do think they probably made him tanky enough to handle, I mean, potentially nearly any boss. I mean, I would really need to test that out, but like, so I did have one moment where I did use this against Tech Super Saiyan Gogeta in the Supreme Battle Spectacle. And his super attack, I believe, is about 2.6 million, but my Beerus dodged it. I think he would have taken a little bit of damage, but I don't think it would have been killer. Like, this is the thing with this Beerus, is I don't really like him because you're getting nothing from him until you transform. Then when you transform, his first turn, he's going to be very good. Let's transform and we'll talk about it. Probably didn't need to raise the volume because there's no talking. I hate that. Like, the talking is what really gets me going during those, but whatever. All right, so now that Beerus has transformed, he is now awake. I think we could just go ahead and put him right in the middle right there. That'll be perfect. This is a Beerus showcase, so why don't we get the other Beerus active in? Sure, why not?
残念だが、破壊するのは僕の仕事なんだ。
Okay, so, Beerus, Mr. Pajamas Beerus. We're going to have almost everything activated in terms of his links, except for Shattering the Limit, which is not going to be very common. You're probably not going to have 2 Shattering Limit characters. 18 key super, he gets 50% attack and 30% defense for on turn. He does greatly lower attack. Now, we do have many fights where that is now relevant. Big fights where debuffing matters, so I'm not gonna mind seeing them add some of this to, major releases moving forward because we could actually get value out of that. That's good. And then his 12 key, he gets 30% attack, colossal damage, and then seals enemy super attack. Again, remember on this turn we have all attacks forcibly aimed at us, right? 3 key, 200% stats. He gets 3 key and 50% damage reduction his first turn. So that is good. Then he gets 1 ki up to 7 and 11% attack up to 77% with each attack received. Dodging is going to hurt that, but that's pointless, irrelevant. Like having that mindset with just this little bit of ki and damage, like you're only doing yourself a disservice. This Beerus is not going to be doing any type of damage whatsoever to be able to assist winning a fight at all. No. I mean, where are we running this guy? Super bosses probably. I don't know. What are his teams? Like, where would we run this guy? He has, what is that? Planetary Destruction, Realm of God, Sibling Bond, Worthy Rival, Bond of Master Disciple, Space Traveling Warrior, Super Boss, and Legendary Existence. Like, it's not like he has some great setup. So, yeah. I would say this guy more is like a defensive tool than anything. It is definitely his value, right? So there's that. That's again, I do think dodge is the correct build on him. You're going to get almost nothing out of additionals or crits for this guy. I would be stunned to show me your screenshots of this guy with additionals and crits, please, because it would befuddle me. It completely makes no sense. Again, people do get mad at this, but I'm going to say it because I do believe it to be true. There are wrong builds for characters. There are. I think that this Beerus going like full crit on him or something like that is a wrong build. You're doing yourself a disservice, for sure. So he has that. He gets 100% attack and defense with 3 or more key spheres obtained. Not really going to be too tough on that first turn, because remember, you're going to come in still in the unawakened version, and he's going to Rainbow Orb change. So, like, he'll create his own orbs the first turn. So he gets 100% attack and defense with 3 key spheres, 30% damage reduction with 5 key spheres. Not that tough, because he is Rainbow Orb changing. So he can get up to 80% damage reduction his first turn, which is quite good. That's very good. Then he gets a high chance to crit after he gets hit the 7th time. So let's see what our boy Beerus is going to look like right here. We're going to be, it looks like we're going to get up to 23 key. Whoops, okay, hold on. All right, here we go. So yeah, whoopsie, silly me. All right, let's get the full 8 orbs right there. Again, we'll be 1 shy of a 24 key super, but it's fine. We'll go ahead and see the damage that our boy Beerus is going to be able to put up. So he's at 300k defense as well, with 80% damage reduction. Okay. Now remember, the way the target mechanic works, I mean, if we would get to attack before the boss, obviously we'd be able to get that defense from his super attack effect as well. Now remember, he does want to get hit to build up some of that damage and some of that ki, but you know, prioritizing well, I mean, dude, again, he's not even really that tanky pre-transformation, but prioritizing the defensive ability is certainly the way to go with that. All right, so we got hit a couple of times, and he gets up to 10 million. Okay. So here's his 18 key again. This is a manga reference, I believe, by the way, which is insane to think about. They got like deep in the manga, like that's a granola arc manga reference, which is crazy. Now, the first turn, again, he has the 1 buff which goes away, which is 3 key and the 50% damage reduction. That's gone, but the rest of it we still have. But so he now becomes a character who could have, you know, 300k defense with 30% damage reduction with 5 key spheres. And, I mean, he's not creating his key spheres anymore. So it's like, that's the thing with this Beerus is it's hide him the best you can, and then we could try and transform him. I do think you will get value in some of the toughest phases of all these fights. I think that does matter too. Right? Like maybe not many free-to-play characters could be like, all right, good news guys against, you know, Supreme Battle Spectacle Beast Gohan right here, who supers for 3 bajillion damage. We got Pajamas Beerus with his active, so we're good. So, I mean, that does matter, but he just brings nothing to the team besides 1 turn. All right, guys, so we got another rotation with Beerus. Let's see what we're at, right, in terms of our stats. So we're at 280k defense right here. This is even with the massive support from Guasu and Zamasu. Okay. So we'll be able to hit this. Right, that gives Beerus extra stats, and that also does give us the damage reduction. Yeah, 350. He's just not good enough. It is true. We have 1 turn. We get 1 turn out of this kid, and that's all we've got, unfortunately. So, I mean, it's up to y'all if you think that's gonna be sufficient for your needs. I mean, I did have him on the team when I no-itemed. Okay, that's good. That's, yeah, we do want that. We did want that, yes. Okay, good job, good job. I did have Pajamas Beerus on the team when I no-itemed Supreme Battle Spectacle Gogeta. And, I mean, he did dodge an attack from Tech Super Saiyan Gogeta, who, there we go, double super attack dodge right there. See, guys? There you go. He did dodge that attack from Gogeta, who does 2.6 million on his super. So, I mean, that's obviously pretty nasty. I mean, I can't say he did nothing, but I don't know. I figure we'll get one more rotation and we'll finish up here. Well, one good thing is, against Realm of God's enemies, we can pair him with this other Beerus, which is good, right? Alright, so we'll be able to get ourselves a nice 8 orbs. Remember, with Gohan and Piccolo on rotation, we're going to be really juiced, by the way. So this should be the best stats we've seen from him in the video so far, I believe. Because remember, he's going to be getting double support from Gohan and Piccolo. The Bond and Master and Disciple support, and then the Superclass support right there when we hit those orbs. Alright, let's see. Beerus-sama, what are we getting from you? 14.5. I mean, even free-to-play characters are able to touch into that realm right there. And again, remember, he does have built-in crits only if he's been hit 7 times, which obviously is tough. I assume that 7 would start when he transforms too, right? That wouldn't account for attacks prior to his transformation. But there we go. There is the Pajamas Beerus. Let me know what you guys think of him. Again, I'm not sure. I don't like him. Like, I don't want to just go super heavy into calling him, like, super mega, oh my god, trash, worst ever. Because he does, that one turn at least does something. I mean, maybe you can make a similar argument for, I don't know, LR Orange Piccolo or Ribrianne or something like that. They're only providing the one turn. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. We'll go ahead and take a look at his details now. Alright guys, so this of course was our boy Beerus Pajamas. Remember that he is a new named character, which I do think is always fun. So again, this is God of Destruction's Holiday, Beerus Pajamas. Leader skills, Planetary Destruction, Category Key 3 and 120% of stats. In base here, he cannot super attack or attack at all. His passive skill, Slumbering God of Destruction. He is unable to attack. He gets 200% defense. He gets 50% damage reduction, turn 1. And then with each turn passed, he loses 10% damage reduction. He gives all allies 40% attack during his turn. And then an additional 10% attack, up to 30% extra at the start of each turn. Then he changes physical key spheres to rainbow key spheres. And then he gets an additional 50% defense per key sphere obtained. So, I love the idea. I really do. But I do think that we need a lot more here. He needs to be starting at 90%, I guess. Like LR Golden Frieza, and then let him go down. We could do that. I think him having a Scouter as well could be good. I also think that his support should be 2-turn support. Again, this might seem like a lot. But, I mean, I see no reason why free-to-play characters have to be bad. There's an Anniversary LR. I don't see why he can't just be super great, right? And the bastard cannot attack, right? Like, I know I'm always, you know, like, all defense. Like, if a character is, like, a god defensively, like, easily I'll overlook lack of damage. But, I mean, it still remains to be said that he does literally 0 damage. He literally, factually, does actually 0 damage. So, I don't see why these stats couldn't just be shot way up. Again, 500% defense at the start of turn. 90% damage reduction that goes down. 2-turn support and a Scouter. And now you've got a real bad boy on your hands. A must run. And that will be good to help Broly too. Because Broly, for the first couple of turns until turn 5, you know, putting him in slot 1 carries a lot of risk. Beerus could do it. Beerus could go slot, like, that would synergize well. Like, it would be good synergy, man. So, I don't know. You tell me. He has an active skill, God of Destruction's Awakening. So he awakens from a slumber, and then, you know, he activates the target mechanic, makes all attacks aim at him, which is a good thing because they did give him enough defense to be able to take that punishment. So that is good. And you can do that from the 5th turn from the start of battle. Again, the condition is fine. I got no problem with this condition. And it's start of battle, not start of turn, which means, as we saw today, we start in slot 7, and then we only have to have one turn in this form, right? Because his 2nd turn, he starts to get real bad. Then his link set, Godly Power, Prodigies, Connoisseur, The Innocence, Shocking Speed, Shouting Limit, Legendary Power. You know, pretty much just Beerus links, of course. 12 key multiplier, 145%. Okay. 200% is his 24 key multiplier right there. And then looking at our boy Beerus's categories here. So Beerus is on the Planetary Destruction team. Good to see the Planetary Destruction team get more options. That's nice. Beerus is also on the Realm of Gods category team right here. Okay, cool. Then Beerus is on the Sibling Bond team. You know, a lot of these teams, it is nice to get more options for sure. Worthy Rival team, another team that definitely could use... Oh, whoops. Actually, we got the LR Cord team. How good. Yeah, the Worthy Rival team right there. And then, again, the one previous was Sibling Bond. I don't think the Cord had hit, though. Then this right here, this is Bond of Master and Disciple. This is a team we ran him on today. He's also over here on Space Traveling Warriors. I think someday that this could potentially become a real team again. I mean, it's very easy. All they got to do is just have one good celebration and teams could become relevant, but they just very rarely do that, right? Then the dreaded team, the Super Bosses category. I mean, you know, is Pajamas Beerus a must run on Super Bosses? Maybe he is. And then finally, there is the Legendary Existence category team that he's a part of. So there's that. There is the pre-awakened version of Pajamas Beerus. Again, in order to transform, all we have to do is get to turn 5, which is really not so bad. Then at that point, he does gain super attacks. You know, his passive changes quite a bit, but links and stuff like that obviously do not change. So now, Beerus' 12-key super attack, the Diffusion Destruction Ball. He gets 30% attack for 1 turn and does colossal damage to the enemy, and then seals enemy super attack. 18-key super, Relieving the God of Destruction Sorrow. He gets 50% attack and 30% defense for 1 turn. Does mega colossal damage to the enemy, and then greatly lowers enemy attack. That's good. Again, there's many tough bosses. Supreme Battle Spectacle, Gogeta, a lot of these guys you could debuff, so that's good. That is good. I like debuffs on characters now. Dokkan did a good job with designing, I think, a lot of the difficult fights of the 9th anniversary. Passive skill is Terrifying God of Destruction. He gets 3-key, 200% stats at the start of turn, 200% attack and defense. He gets 3-key and 50% damage reduction for his first turn when he, when you do the active skill Awakening. He gets 1 key up to 7 and 11% attack up to 77% with each attack received. He gets 100% attack and defense with 3 or more key spheres. He gets 30% damage reduction with 5 key spheres. And then he gets a high chance to crit starting from the turn in which he takes his 7th hit. So remember, Beerus, his first turn is the only turn we really need to care about or worry about or anything like that, right? We could float him off. The target mechanic is going to force all attacks to him. He should be able to survive all attacks and potentially even huge boss super attacks. Red Zone Boss Rush Broly, Supreme Battle Spectacle Beast Gohan, Supreme Battle Spectacle Blue Gogeta. Like, I think, we could have turns where Beerus lives these, which matters. Because, in order to really do well against some of these bosses, you do need, like, a mechanic like this. So it's good. Like, that is good. But the problem is, again, that you only have the 1 turn where you're able to take advantage of this. Now, keep in mind, too, that he does have that orb restriction, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal because he does create orbs for himself for the only turn that matters, that first turn. He will Rainbow Orb Change, then you use the active skill, and then you can use the orbs. So, it's not like this orb restriction is bad or anything like that. It's really just, I guess, there to make him shittier on subsequent turns. I guess they decided we don't mind making him a god for 1 turn, but he is borderline worthless for almost the rest of the fight. So, interesting, I guess. And then obviously links and categories and multipliers and everything is all the same. So let me know what you guys think about Pajamas Beerus. Again, I'm not really super sure how to feel about this guy. I would say I'm leaning towards really not liking him. I wasn't really impressed with his performance in the Super Bosses mission runs against Gogeta, but to be fair, literally every character looks worse on Super Bosses, so it is difficult to really, blame characters too much for that. So let me know what you guys think of Pajamas Beerus. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.